welcome back to Dairy State Vegan. I am Mariah, your Dairy State Vegan, and today I've got another What's for Dinner video for you. Alright, so today in my What's for Dinner for the week, I did a bunch of recipes that'll work for you for Thanksgiving or Christmas or any holidays that you celebrate coming up. Two of them are sides, and then tonight actually I'm making a Thanksgiving main dish for you. So hopefully this really helps you out as you start planning with the holiday season coming around. Before we get into what I'm cooking, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you don't miss a single video. I post videos every single Tuesday and Saturday. Tuesday are almost always What's for Dinner videos, and on Saturday you can expect what I eat in a day videos, some sort of taste test video, or even some fun challenges with my husband and my oldest son. So make sure you hit that button. I'll wait. All right, now let's get eating. All right, tonight for dinner I'm making a pumpkin alfredo pasta. So I'm starting with some vegan butter and a bunch of onion. You can use whatever onion you want. I just had a red onion, so that's what I'm using. I'm going to saute that down. And then I've got a big pot of salted water getting ready to boil the pasta on the stove. Dax is protesting me cooking without him in my arms. So I'm going to let this saute down and I'm going to take care of Dax, and I'll be back with the rest of the instructions. Here is my protester. Just wanted some snuggles, right Dax? Mama's got to cook dinner for everyone. So cute. So I'm going to finish working on dinner. I'll come back when there's another step. I'm going to pass him off to the hubs when I come back. Alright, so now that our onions are sauteed down a little bit, we are going to add a bunch of garlic. You know me. I saw someone say a bunch of garlic the other day on a video because I watch YouTube too, and it was like 2 tablespoons. I was like, that is not a bunch of garlic. I put in like 4 to 6 tablespoons. We're going to add some salt, probably about a teaspoon and a half. Some black pepper. Some thyme leaves. I only have probably about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half, so that's what I'm adding. Alright, into this I'm also going to add about 3 ounces of white wine. We're going to let this cook down quite a bit, and then we'll get started on the alfredo part of our sauce. Alright, before I start on our alfredo, our pasta water has come to a boil, so I'm just going to put our pasta of choice in the water. I'm using a penne rigate tonight. You can use whatever you want. You can also use some of those like gluten-free Banza pastas. I tend to just stick with regular pasta. We're not a gluten-free family, and my husband and son just really like regular pasta, so that's what we eat. I'm going to add a little more. And then also to the pasta water, and this is why it's extra important to make sure it's salted heavily, I've chopped about 8 leaves of kale and destemmed them. We're going to cook this right in with our pasta. You can do it all just in one pot. We're going to let this cook till the pasta is ready, and we're going to go work on our alfredo sauce now. Alright, for our alfredo sauce, I've soaked about 1.5 cups of raw cashews in warm water. I'm just going to drain half of this water. And then I will fill the remainder of our smoothie cup up to the max liquid line with almond milk. Well, that was perfect. And also because I want this particular alfredo to be a little extra garlicky to go well with the pumpkin, I'm going to add some garlic juice from our minced garlic, probably about 2 tablespoons. Optional, but highly recommended. Also, since I'm showing you something that would make a great Thanksgiving dish, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vegan butter in. This is going to give it like that fatty decadence of traditional alfredo sauce. And when you are cooking for a bunch of non-vegans, fat and salt are super important. This is not the time to try and be super healthy. Not that I'm ever super healthy, but you know. We're going to add about a tablespoon of salt. about a teaspoon of black pepper, and about the same of white pepper. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of garlic powder, about a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and as much or as little nooch as you like. We like to do about 3 to 4 tablespoons in my family. Then I'm just going to blend this up, taste it, and adjust the spice. All right, our pasta and kale is cooked and drained and just set off the heat. I cooked it to an al dente because we're going to finish it with this alfredo sauce. And then now that my white wine, onion, garlic mixture has cooked down a little bit, we are going to add the pumpkin part. So I just have 1 can of organic pumpkin, not pumpkin pie seasoning, pumpkin. And we're going to add this to the onions. And we're just going to simmer it together for a couple minutes to let the flavors kind of come together. All right, and now that this has simmered for a couple minutes, we're going to add our cashew alfredo. And combine them. You could blend the pumpkin, onion, everything mixture with the alfredo, but I kind of like the texture of having the onion and the garlic not completely pulverized. However you want to do it, but I just think this adds a little more substance to the meal. So we're going to mix this together. Once it's fully incorporated, here I am making a mess for y'all again. I swear I do this almost every video. I'm just going to give my sauce a little taste, see if I need to add any salt or pepper to it or garlic. That tastes perfect. So we're going to switch our pans. I'm going to move the alfredo here. I'm going to put the pasta pan back over the heat. I'm just going to pour my alfredo sauce over the pasta, and I'm going to let that simmer for about 5 minutes. And then dinner will be ready. This just allows the pasta to soak up some of the sauce and get some extra flavor. Ooh, I crowded this pan. She's gonna be full. All right, so here you have our pumpkin Alfredo pasta. I'm gonna just garnish it. Usually I use red pepper flakes, but this really calls for some fresh cracked black pepper, I think. So we're gonna put some fresh black pepper and then the Follow Your Heart vegan Parmesan shreds. And I will have Jeff come give it a little taste test for y'all. All right, so dinner is ready. Babe, you gotta get in frame.
Oh,
Jeff is wearing a Santa shirt.
Yes, I have my Santa shirt on.
And they squat down a little. I'm sorry, I'm so tall.
Aha.
There you go. All right, baby. The people want to see you try my food. So I just topped it with a little Follow Your Heart Parmesan and then fresh cracked black pepper. That's a lot of kale. Maybe get more pasta.
I don't know, it's really hot. I'm gonna burn my tongue.
Just blow on it.
That's really good.
How'd I do?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's dinner tonight. I hope you'll try it out. If not for dinner, maybe as a Thanksgiving side dish. I'm gonna go feed this kid.
I'm gonna go. Ah.
He's gonna eat his food. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Just letting y'all know, I'm going in for seconds. Mine.
Hi, buddy. Should we show him how to make cheesy hash brown casserole tonight? Should we show him how to do that? Yeah. All right, we can do that.
All right, so for tonight's dinner, I'm gonna use the Gardein turkey cutlets, and I'm gonna make it with some green beans and a cheesy hash brown casserole, also known as funeral potatoes. I don't know if this is like an all over the country thing, just a Midwest thing, or more of like a Wisconsin thing, but Hash brown casserole is pretty much a staple for any family holiday gathering, including Thanksgiving. So you can make it vegan, and it's actually pretty simple and a quick process, and probably one of the most decadent dishes at Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to show you how I make mine. So we're going to start with about 3 tablespoons, yes 3, even 4 if you wanted, of vegan butter in a skillet. I am using like a chicken fryer pan because what we're doing essentially is we're going to end up making a vegan cream of chicken soup real quick. And we're going to saute down half of a medium onion diced up. And while this is sauteing down, we're going to make cashew cream real quick. Okay, so I've soaked my cashews, about a half a cup of them. This is actually optional. You can skip the cashew cream and just use plant milk. I just think this is a decadent dish, so the cashews give it a little extra decadence. So I'm going to drain the water off of these, and we're going to go ahead and fill just up to 12 ounces on our Ninja blending cup with almond milk. I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. You can use Dijon as well. It just needs to be kind of a strong flavored mustard. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of nooch. Again, you can skip this all together and just do plant-based milk. I just think adding a flavorful cashew cream really ups the ante on this dish. Add a little bit of salt. About a half of a teaspoon. If you can hear the giggling in the background, my husband and oldest son are playing video games. About a teaspoon of garlic, about a teaspoon of black pepper. We're just going to puree this up until it's creamy and get back over to our onions. Alright, now that our onions are starting to get translucent and fragrant, I'm going to add a little bit, about 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. This is one recipe you'll see me not actually go ham on the garlic. I know we're all shocked. We all know garlic is my favorite thing. But this dish is about richness and decadence and not as much about being heavy-handed with the seasoning. Although I like to be heavy-handed, this is not the day for overuse of garlic. So now that we have our onions translucent and our garlic sauteing in, we want to kind of make a roux because we're trying to make that like gloppy Campbell's style condensed chicken soup. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of flour to our onions. And we're going to stir this in and just let the flour cook for a little bit so you don't get a raw flour flavor. Now you can cook the onions on the side and just do the butter and flour to make the roux with a little salt, pepper, and garlic. However, the onions are going to go in the casserole anyways, and why dirty another pan? It just makes sense to do it all together. So once our roux has cooked in a little bit, I made just 1 cube's worth of this not chicken bouillon. You can find this just in the soup section at your local grocery store. You can also buy not chicken broth in a box. That's not as common to find. We're just going to add it in little portions at a time and incorporate it well because you're going to see this is going to thicken up. And this is 2 cups of not chicken broth. All right, we're going to add more. And you want to add it about half at a time or it's going to get too clumpy. And then once we get all the flour kind of incorporated into our chicken broth, we're going to go in and slowly add in our cashew cream that we made. And literally this is how easy it is to make a vegan cream of chicken soup. Alright, I'm just going to stir this until it's as thick as I want it. Taste it, adjust the seasonings as you need. If you find you need to add a little extra flour, just take a little bit of plant milk of your choice and about a tablespoon of flour and whisk it together to make a slurry, and then slowly add it and whisk it in to get the thickness that you want. This should get it for you, but there's always so many variables. if you have to make an adjustment, that's a good way to do it. All right, so you can use shredded or diced potatoes. You can also use your own. I just bought these diced hash brown potatoes because it makes it really easy. Throw those right into a mixing bowl. I'm gonna add about 1 cup or about half a container of this tofutti sour cream. Whatever your favorite vegan sour cream is will work. You can also make your own if you wanted. I'm gonna sprinkle in about a half a cup of the Follow Your Heart Parmesan shreds. And then to this, we're gonna incorporate about half of our cream of chicken soup mixture. We might need more, but we just want to do about half at a time. We're going to stir this up well, and then we can kind of see where we have to add from here. Now if this seems thick, that's okay because your potatoes are frozen. They're going to add moisture. The flour in your vegan cream of chicken soup mixture will help to keep it nice and thickened. But don't worry if this seems a little too thick to you. And then I'm going to add a decent handful of the Violife Just Like Cheddar shreds. I don't want to add too much into here. We're going to add a little more over the top. Just enough to add a little cheesiness. But vegan cheese is strong and you don't want to be too heavy-handed with it. So I'm going to finish mixing this up. I'm going to get it into a baking dish, spray down the baking dish with some nonstick spray. I'm going to bake it at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we top it. All right, this guy is getting a little fussy. I had an open house and work today, so he hasn't seen Mama that much. Show him your awesome Daddy Stormtrooper. So I'm going to call in my husband to help me out with the topping of this casserole. I know you like to see my family anyways, so I'm going to call him in. And we're going to top our casserole. I'm going to need you to top this. Okay, so this is what it looks like halfway through. The first thing, babe, is take a light handful of the Violife cheddar shreds and just sprinkle it over the top.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Yep, just a little bit, not a ton. Maybe like a quarter of a cup worth of cheese. Just enough to make the topping stick. Perfect. Then you're going to take 2 handfuls, one at a time, of these Earth Balance cheddar squares. You can smash them up ahead of time, but if you just crush them in your hands over the casserole, that works too. Hi, baby.
I love you. All right. Crush them?
Yep. And just evenly distribute it over the casserole. Now, some people like to use panko or cornflakes, but I am a fan of these Earth Balance cheddar squares. Now, we are making this. Oh, it's okay. We need a pinch of salt, and also I melted about 3 tablespoons of vegan butter. Babe, you're gonna want that too. We're not making this healthy, y'all. We're making it for our non-vegan friends and family to like too. Drizzle the butter over the top evenly. This is, of course, optional, but I highly recommend it. It makes it extra decadent. And we're cooking for Thanksgiving in theory here, or a family brunch, and decadence is key. All right, and then just a pinch of salt over the top, maybe a half of a teaspoon. And that's just because those Earth Balance squares aren't salty. If you're using something else besides them, you can not do this pinch of salt. And then we're gonna put this back in the oven for another 15 minutes. And while this is in the oven, I'm gonna pop these cutlets into our air fryer for about 10 minutes. And then we'll show you what we're having for dinner. Yeah, that has to sit for about 5 minutes. And then we can serve it. All right, here we have dinner for tonight. Green beans, our Gardein turkey cutlets with the gravy, and our cheesy hash brown casserole, aka funeral potatoes. I'm gonna plate up everyone's dinner and show you what they think of the potatoes in particular. Okay, we are eating in the living room tonight because there's a Packer game on. Oh, I need to back up. And Cody and Daddy are gonna try the potatoes. Dad, do you want me to take Jeff?
Daddy, do you want me to?
You want me? Jeff? Would you like me to take Daxton? I said, would you like me to take Jeff? I need a nap.
We're good.
Okay.
Daxton, would you like
All right, try the potatoes. I want to see what you guys think.
Potatoes. Let's try the potatoes. Crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside.
What?
What do you think, Cody?
Amazing. Oh,
Really good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Those are delicious.
All right, well, we're going to watch the game, eat some more grub. I'm going to get a plate, and we'll see you all tomorrow night for dinner. Cody. All right, for tonight's dinner, I thought I would show you a main dish because I feel like I've showed you two sides. So in a pot of water, I have boiling about 6 small carrots, 3 parsnips, 2 stalks of celery, and 3 red potatoes. We're just going to boil these till tender because we're making a kind of Thanksgiving version of a shepherd's pie. And then while these are cooking, I'm going to make that vegan cream of chicken soup I taught you how to make in yesterday's dinner. So I'm not going to bore you and take you through it again, but we're just going to boil these till tender, make that sauce, and come back and show you the rest. All right, our veggies are rolling, boil, and fork tender, so we're going to drain these. And then our vegan cream of chicken soup is just about thickened to the perfect consistency. So I'm going to drain the veggies and add them to the gravy and show you what else we add. Okay, so we've got it in a casserole dish, and now I just have a few more additions before we top our Thanksgiving pie. I did spray down the top edges of our casserole dish so our topping doesn't stick. I'm going to add some mushrooms to this. I like to add them kind of big because my husband and son don't like them, so if I add them big, they're easy for them to fish out and give them all to me. But you can chop them smaller if you'd like. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this chicken grill seasoning. It has salt, garlic, onion, rosemary, thyme, all kinds of stuff that makes you think more of a chickeny, more poultry flavor. It's really going to add some depth to our pot pie. Thanksgiving pie. It's not really a pot pie, and you'll see why. And then to make it extra creamy, I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup of vegan sour cream, the tofuji. You could even add a little more. This is just what I happen to still have left over. We're going to mix this in, and then we will top our Thanksgiving pie. All right, so once you have it all well incorporated, just give it a taste and adjust the seasonings as necessary. I pretty much just taste the gravy base because that's what you need to know how the flavor is. All right, now let's top this. All right, so since this is a Thanksgiving pie, instead of puff pastry or pie crust, we're gonna top it kind of like a shepherd's pie with mashed potatoes. I didn't show you my mashed potato recipe in this video because I've shown them before. I'll link some videos down below of where I've made my mashed potatoes before, but I figured y'all don't need to see it again. You've seen me make them a couple of times, but if you're interested in how I make them, those will be down in the description box below. I'm also going to link in the description box below last year's Thanksgiving recipe series. I actually did 2 videos on sides alone, more traditional sides like green bean casserole and stuffing. I did a dessert video and I did a main dishes video. So if you're interested in seeing those videos, those will be linked down below if you just want some more holiday meal inspiration. Forgive me because they're when I first started YouTube and the video quality might not be that great, but the recipes are great. So definitely worth checking out. Just trying to spread this evenly so I get like a little bit of a crust on my potatoes. Looks like we're gonna have just the perfect amount. Made it by the skin of my teeth. All right, and now that that's topped, if you wanted to add a couple pats of butter to the top to get a little extra browning, you could. I'm not going to today, but definitely like for Thanksgiving, it would add a little extra yumminess. I'm gonna pop this into a preheated oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes till this gets a little browning. Then we will take it out and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. here we are. I let it sit for about 10 minutes before we cut into it. I'm going to plate it up. Pro tip though, it did bubble over and I'm sick, so I wasn't thinking, but put a baking sheet underneath this dish so that you don't end up with that mess in your oven to clean up. Just a tip from me to you. We will be back to taste test this for you. All right, Jeff is sick too. We're all in rare form, but he's gonna taste test this for y'all.
Yup.
I tried to pick out the mushrooms for you, honey.
I'll eat them if they're in there. Maybe. It's really good. But I'm getting a little too zealous because it's still hot.
So definitely try this out for your Thanksgiving meal if you're making a main entree. It's hearty and warm and delicious and feels like Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I hope you liked today's video. I hope you got some good ideas for Thanksgiving or holiday meals. Dax, say hi, everyone. Let me know down below which one you're the most excited to try out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single new video. And I will talk to y'all next time. Thanks. Bye.